game. Big old bash down, baby. Nice. Minus 14, taking down a top 300 player. Woo! Woohoo! Nice. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today's video is brought to you by your mom, and we are playing the Nonolith, a Selesnya-based counter deck. Selesnya is the color combination of green and white. Counters refer to the +1/+1s that we can put on not only our creatures, but many of our permanents. This deck doesn't have the Ozolith, which is why it's called the Nonolith, and we're only really putting those counters on our creatures, which is a little bit easier to manage for us. A very successful deck to date, beating not only the best decks in the meta right now, but also some of the best players in Magic the Gathering Arena, which is a lot of fun. Let's break down the deck, talk about all of the cards, why they were chosen to be included within the list. Then we'll talk about the strategies, synergies, discuss how it all comes together to form a coherent deck that can compete at the highest levels. And then we'll break down the gameplay, looking through our playlines and interactions within our cards and our opponent's decks to learn how it not only works within itself, but how it will work within the environment as a whole, because you have to be running your playlines while managing your opponent's playlines, of course, to be playing any deck effectively and efficiently. And then, of course, we do have our final thoughts, talking about the deck, any changes we would like to make, and future content plans. So again, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it to all of your friends, join our Discord so you don't miss out on our 500,000 gem giveaway, free cash prize monthly tournaments, brawl and artisan formats, one-on-one sessions with myself times 100 with $20 USD attached to that each, which is pretty cool. You get a little bit of FaceTime with me in a private chat or a video call, something to your likings, whatever it happens to be, and much, much more. Of course, if you are a baller Scrooge McDuck type, you can support financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and our Amazon link. Make sure to spend those Bitcoins here with me. And with all of that out of the way, thank you guys again. Your time and attention does not go unnoticed. I am extremely grateful for each and every second that you spend here with me today. Let's break down the deck and get into it. Is it just me, or does that guy always ramble on? He's just talking about stuff. It's like, get to the point. Let me see the deck, HGG. No. First, you need to check out Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant, a must-have addition to anybody utilizing additional information within the game or looking to get more information within the game. One of my favorite perks of it is the Deck Advisor. It will tell you what decks you can play based on the best decks in the game according to your personal card collection, keeping you from spending those wild cards and allowing you to stay fresh while experimenting with new decks all the time. Of course, I myself have a free-to-play playlist that will open up for you guys at the end of the video. 0 rares, 0 mythics that can compete within the highest levels of the game as well, allowing you, again, to keep the game fresh while saving those wild cards, because we don't want you spending any of those, right? Almost at 100k gold, you guys. We're getting close. I know, I talked about rambling, and then there we go again. So, the Nonolith. Let's finally break down the deck. We built this deck around Fall of the Imposters. This is a new enchantment saga. When it enters play, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. On our next draw step, repeat that, and then finally, exile target creature with the greatest power among creatures that your opponents control. I cannot believe the value in this thing. This is a 3 converted mana cost exile creature permanently card. Typically, we see Banishing Light, exile permanent or creature or casket until it leaves the battlefield. This is forever. When it leaves the battlefield, they don't get that creature back. That's amazing. plus the +1/+1 counters seem to basically beg you to play it within a Selesnya counter deck. So that's exactly what we decided to do. And from there, we go over to our girl, Conclave Mentor, a 2/2. And if we put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, we will put that many +1/+1 counters plus an additional +1/+1 counter on that creature instead. Absolutely. And whenever Conclave Mentor dies, you gain life equal to its power. This is my favorite in the Clerics build because you can tag it with Veto, and when it dies, you gain life. Veto triggers damage. The whole world goes round, but that's in a different deck, you guys. Today, we are just looking for the +1/+1 buff that we'll receive whenever we put a +1/+1 counter on our other creatures, which is really cool. And hey, the life gain's not bad either because we're playing in best of one. There's a lot of aggro decks out there, and if we can slow them down and burn them out, that's going to lead us to a win as well. So now that we have Fall of the Imposters as our main card to build around, we put the Mentor in place, we start to build around it, right? People really like to remove the Mentor because it is so high value, which brings us now to the new Snakeskin Veil, a 1 converted mana cost instant speed spell. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until the end of turn. That will not only allow us to protect it, but it will put 2 +1/+1 counters on that creature as well. Very, very good. When we're putting counters on creatures, we like to gain value from it, so we look for cards like the Swarm Shambler. 4 copies of this in deck as well. It's also a 1 converted mana cost. It enters the battlefield with a single +1/+1 counter on it. Of course, that can be doubled to 2 if the Mentor is already in play. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes a target of a spell an opponent controls, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. This will allow us to continue to go wide with our creatures when our opponent uses targeted removal. This is quite nice for a few reasons, and we'll branch out from that in a second. We can also pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on Swarm Shambler. This makes it a great defender and a decent card to sink your mana into. It's not repeatable because you do have to tap it, but again, you can use it as a defender, tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If you have the Mentor, 2 counters. If you have the Mentor times 2, 3 counters, and that can become a very nice sneak blocker for your opponent if they're not taking into account the Mentor's additional +1/+1 buffs. Into now the branch off cards from the Shambler, we also have cards like Basri's Lieutenant. Only 2 copies of this in deck because it is a 4 converted mana cost and we're looking to stay relatively aggressive with the deck. It's a 3/4 with Vigilance, protection from multicolored, which is just helpful in general. When Basri enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature we control, and then whenever Basri or another creature we control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, create a 2/2 White Knight creature token with Vigilance. This is really, really nice because if we have Swarm Shambler in play and Basri in play, our opponent uses targeted removal, we get a 1/1 insect, and we get a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. That is a reverse 2-for-1 as far as I'm concerned, which is really, really good. And now let's also keep in mind that not only the Swarm Shambler, but also Basri Lieutenant are stackable creatures because they're non-legendary. That makes that whole situation even more powerful. So how do we get +1/+1 counters on all of our creatures that don't have them already? Well, it's the Luminarch Aspirant, a 1/1, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is a 2 converted mana cost card, a really nice early play, also something that we may want to protect with our Snakeskin Veil. Scavenging Ooze can get its own counters, only 2 copies of this in deck as it is not a requirement, but a very powerful utility card, dealing with our graveyard, our opponent's graveyard, and gaining us a small amount of life along the way. It's a 2/2 for 2 converted mana in which we can pay 1 force to exile a card from a graveyard if it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on the Ooze, and gain 1 life. Of course, you do have the option to exile non-creatures as well. You'll just not get the counter or life. Of course, the counter gets doubled up through the Mentor. We also have 4 copies of the Oran-Rief Ooze, another 3-drop, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. silence your phone while you do recordings, and whenever the Oran-Rief Ooze attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature that has a +1/+1 counter on it, which is really, really nice. Of course, that effect is doubled through each Conclave Mentor we have in play again, which is the common modality of the deck and really what we build around and why we build around it. Finally, for a little bit of sauce, we do have the Gemrazer, which is a 4/4 with reach and trample, mutate for 3. Its normal converted mana cost is 4. So you get a little bit of a discount if you mutate onto a non-human. You cannot mutate onto a human. We do have a few humans in deck. The Luminarch Aspirant, Basri's Lieutenant, and all of the tokens that Basri will create are all humans in which we are not able to mutate to. However, if we do find a non-human, like our Shambler, like any of the insects that it creates, like the Ooze, like the Mentor, like the other Ooze, we will get to destroy target artifact or enchantment that our opponent controls, which is really good. So there's nothing better than having, Swarm Shambler or something being targeted, creating that 1/1 insect, and then mutating onto the insect, creating a 4/4 with trample and reach. Plus, you get to destroy something of your opponent's, which is really nice. So that's the list. To top it off, we have a couple MDFC lands, 2 Turntimber Symbiosis. This is a 7 converted mana sorcery, looking at the top 7 cards of our library, putting a creature card from among them into the battlefield. If its converted mana cost was 3 or less, it will enter with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Put the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. Looking for mentors, obviously it will come out with 4 +1/+1 counters, and it's going to be a 6/6, which is pretty deadly. But of course, we can pull anything else out that we want, whether it be an Ooze, a Basri, a Luminarch. It all goes as long as it's a creature. Of course, we have to have 2 copies of Emeria's Call as well, also for 7 at sorcery speed. Creating 2 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angels that we control will gain indestructible until the end of turn, allowing us to attack in without any hesitation, or even allowing us to defend without any consequence. 6 plains, 8 forests, 4 Branchloft Boulderloft Pathways, and 4 Fabled Passages to round out the deck. We do have an average converted mana cost of 2.7. Keep in note that's taking into account the 4 7-drops, which we don't use. So it's skewed a little bit higher than it should be. 22 lands, also lower than it would be because it's not counting the MDFCs as our lands. So you do find a nice middle ground between the two. With that out of the way, let's talk about our strategies, synergies, ideal opening hands, and play lines, and then get into today's gameplay footage. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to help support the channel. You can go ahead financially as well on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and our Amazon link. Okay, so the main goal here is to go incredibly wide, right? If you can't go tall, go wide. We start to go tall, but eventually our opponent will probably stop that in its tracks. We do have trample, which can really help us out in that fact, and we have forms of removal, which can keep our attack lanes open. So there's a few ways to still get around that little bit of trouble that we could run into. Of course, the Gemrazer is the trample, removal through the Impostor. We can also gain flying through the angels, which is nice. And other than that, we're just going wide. We're going wide, we're going wide, we're going wide. We also have removal within the inscription that I should mention, the fight effect, which is quite nice. So, go wide, stack your tokens, gain trample, attack your opponent, and win. It's really easy. You can use removal along the way. With that being said, your ideal opening hands will basically always have a copy of Conclave Mentor in it. That's how you basically identify a good draw hand with this deck. It's not rocket science. This card runs the deck. It's very, very good. What's better than just having the Conclave Mentor though is having a mana curve. It's having, 2 to 3 lands of both colors, 1 of one and then 2 of the other, something like this. And then it's having a 1-drop, a Swarm Shambler. It's having a 2-drop, the Conclave Mentor or the Luminarch Aspirant. It's having a 3-drop, like Fall of the Imposters or the Ooze. That's how you identify a good hand. Maybe you even get super lucky and you have a Snakeskin Veil to protect, or you have Basri's Lieutenant to protect. That's going to be your ideal draw hand and base everything off of that. Again, you can't always get it perfect with 1, 2, 3, 4. you should be able to get 1, 2, 3, and at the very least, you should be able to get a 1, 2, or a 2, 3 as efficiently and as consecutively or consistently as you can. That's that, you guys. You're going to learn a little bit more on the deck as we watch today's gameplay footage. Make sure to pay attention to all of the unique playlines and interactions as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to a friend, support financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and our Amazon link. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. You are all making a difference in this little guy's life. Take care, enjoy the gameplay, and we will see you soon with our wrap-up thoughts. We're going first. Our hand doesn't look good. I'm going to toss this. This looks a little bit better. Toss the land. Alright, things don't look good. Question is, are we going to try to hold off until turn 3, or do we just let it rip? Okay. Brushfire Elemental, Gruul in the house. For some reason, I wasn't... We just went right through that, I guess. LOL. Off to a good start. I don't even think I passed skip turn. I must have. Nice. Good opening hand. Gruul is really good right now. It's hard to beat. Let's cry a little bit here inside. Alright, we're good. We're good. Land and play. Everything is going just as we'd wanted it to. Don't you dare stomp me. The sad thing is they could have another next turn. Right, like a Scorching Dragonfire, something like this. Another passage? Oh my lord. Sploosh. With a cutscene piece, of course, you know. Wouldn't be fair with anything else. Oh my lanterns. Not good. Alright, we're going first. Looks a little bit nicer. And, you know, hopefully this passage doesn't crack in our face. We might even just pay life and be the aggressor because we're on the play. I think that's our best bet. Swarm Shambler gets removed. Still makes the insect though, right? So that's nice. But we know they've got removal, so I don't really want to play into it yet. Let's just end our turn. We could Gemraze onto the insect. Oh, they've got bounce spells. Still, I think it's a better play. So even if they fry the 1/1, we're going to get the 4/4 in play. So they need to either counter it, which they do, or let it hit and then bounce it. Alright, we can play our Luminarch and kind of protect it a little bit. A little bit. So we can't save it because they do it before the other counter goes on, which is really smart of them. That's not a snowland, it's only doing 2. Decent hit. Or 1, that is. I forgot this had Summoning Sickness. Nice! We're in a terrible position here, but, you know, what do we do? Right? Just sit back and try to pull some more lands. Negate Aronis. Let's push ourselves to 5. I think we should actually even go as far as 6. Okay. Down to 12. They have 3 cards plus a giant. And a Haven. Actually. So they're cycling lands, pulling out another snow basic here. Yas. Now Frostbite's dealing 3 damage. It already was now because of the Haven, actually. Oh, good God. It's the Godspan Dragon. Ah! I don't know if racing us is... Well, I guess they have the Haven. Oh, that's good. Now that's good. Woof. So they need lots of creatures, but we're gonna get hit for 8 here, probably. Wrong play. Faceless Haven, attack, sack the treasures for the giant after. That's okay, though. I'm just glad I can pick those things out. It's annoying, and I hate it. Ah. Do they have any interaction? What's that last card, right? Like, what is it? They have to block. Okay. They need another creature because we exile their most powerful one with Fall of the Impostor. They have 2 cards in hand, plus a Haven, hitting us for 8. They only need 1 extra damage. Really? No attacks. We exile the dragon. Woof. Mentor in play. This is going to gain us some life, right? Well, they have no Haven here. What's this last card? It's probably a bounce spell, isn't it? Nope. Alright, so first match we got dominated by a girl. Second match is at tempo, and we do pull through, which is really nice against one of the best cards right now in the meta. Let's see how these next couple of matches turn out for us. Alright, we go first. Land looks okay, right? It's definitely not bad. Let's start out slow. That way we're not paying life later on. We're into 2-drop. We're into really nice 3-drops. Let's see how it all works out for us. Oh, Selfless Savior. This is a 316 player as well. Oh my gosh. I am freaking out, man. We'll try to reef, I guess. The exile's good when they have indestructible. Maybe we should just push that out right away. Let's save it for just a second. Let's hit for 3. There's no way they block. Damage is good. Little nervous about playing a top 300 person, if I'm being honest. It's been a while since I've been up that high this late in the season. Last month, not this month. Not this month. I think our top this month was like 1100, somewhere around here. It's their third land. Skyclave Apparition is going to come down on one of our creatures. Now that's why I played, you know, another creature instead of Fall. Okay, Selfless Savior. Times 2. Interesting. The plot thickens. And I don't care about damage. It has Vigilance. I think this is going to work out for us. Right? We have that Inscription, which is going to absolutely save us. And then when we attack, we get another token on each of them as well. Which is really quite nice. We're in a good position. Deal 10 damage down to 7. Alright, we're going to get double blocks here. And probably a field wipe. What do you guys think? Let's just hold on to it. Oh, they're bouncing the dogs to their hand all the time with him. It's not bad. That's pretty cool. That is not bad. Pass our turn. See what we have in store for us. They have that god that exiles an attacking creature. That could be pretty terrifying for us. Let's get Fall of the Imposters out. We need to start doing some exiling. We draw 5th land. That might actually be ideal for us because then we can do both. Like hold up Inscription and use the Fall. Okay. Big boy in play. 4/4. It's not equipped though, but it can gain indestructible. Basri's so good right here. I really wanted to use Fall, but oh my gosh. Like, we're just pulling the nuts. This is it. This is like the drop. And they all push up again. They only have 2 blockers. And they don't really want to lose the god. So it's going to be like 2 blocks, then they chump the Savior to give the god indestructible. And we still get the 5 damage through. Down to 12. We're at 20 life. We're basically open here. If they do wipe the field, though, without dealing with Basri first, then we're going to get 3 2/2s, which is, you know, relatively decent. They need the sword for vigilance, right? And then the Savior in for indestructible, which is pretty good. We're still ready to exile as well. So the indestructible is only going to get them so far. Oh. Okay, that's nice. It's good. All of our cards are really good though, so it's a hard choice for them, right? We've got 2 Luminarchs plus the Ooze, like, you know, it's kind of lame. I might almost take the Ooze or Basri, like, because there are, but then there's 2 Luminarchs, like, it's just not a good scenario. The sword gives +2, +0 in vigilance. Oh, that's awkward, isn't it? Oh, they're just doing that for fun. little demonstration of what could happen, right? You could equip it to a different creature. That's fun. All right, we get that long-awaited source of mana that we've been looking for. Let's pile in. Oh, protection from multicolor. I see. LOL. Doesn't matter much. So this is annoying. But we should kill... this thing, right? But then the first strike is really annoying there. Oh, they lost the first strike. It's only vigilance. So we'd just be trading. But then that gives them a 2-for-1. No 2-for-1 for them. Goes back to their hand, but we do get the 3/3 out of it, which is like not actually that bad. So they're down to 7. We have lethal. I think no matter what. I take a Luminarch, that's okay. This is a really interesting deck. I really enjoy it, to be honest. Like, Lots of indestructible. Fall of the Imposters would be a really cool card with Vorinclex, right? 2 counters out of the gate, and then right away you get an exile. Not bad, not bad. Our opponent has 2 mana left. It needs to be the dog, right? And then they can stop most of the damage. Gain indestructible. Let's put that over here. Toss this in, put it there as well. That way we're still getting 5 damage through. The exiles are really quite nice. They start triggering next turn. They have 3 cards in hand. I'm not sure that we're out of the gate quite yet, but it is looking good. Everybody goes in. Basri has Vigilance. They're taking all but 5 damage. Or all but 2, I should say. Either way. They'll be down to 2 life, and they're taking all of 5 damage by us through Basri. Indestructible on the apparition, that's okay. And we will end our turn here. Of course, we do get the exile, which is really quite nice. No matter what happens, if they remove our creatures, you know, we do get... Nice. That's pretty good. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Right? Unless they have another creature to drop here. They do. Very nice indeed. Whichever one they plus, we exile. We get our 3/3. Swarm Shambler in play. They have to double block here. You get the 2/2. End our turn. 3 cards in hand. All of the Imposters, I think, is a great addition to the Selesnya counter deck. It does everything we need it to. Giant Killer, that's okay. We get the Insect plus a 2/2, which is, you know, like really good value. Right? Really good value with the Swarm Shambler and Basri's Lieutenant. Good game. Big old bash down, baby. Nice. Minus 14, taking down a top 300 player. Woo! Woohoo! Nice. If only we were ranked top 300, right? Going first, 2 mentors in hand. Okay. Sign me up. Sign me up. Let's go. So we're talking about the temperature, and I'm saying it's minus 30 out. I'm in Alberta, Canada. I guess maybe I shouldn't say the exact location. But we actually had minus 55 with wind chill this past week. So that's degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Those are the big boy numbers. All right, minus 55 with the wind chill, you guys. Have you ever experienced it? Have you had colder? I certainly don't recommend it. Let's pretend they don't have any removal or glass caskets, anything like this. I'm definitely going to take that hit if we can. Right? Get rid of their draw engine is worth the trade, in my opinion. Bursies! Shepherd of the Flock in play. Yeah, that's alright. Oh. Take a triple block. Really? Okay. No. Just the token. Just the token. Oh, they had the giant killer. Bummer. You dirty dog. Go on the ooze. Attack with the ooze. Up to 6. Right to the choppers. They're gonna play the giant killer, bounce the giant killer, re-kill our ooze. Oh, they just have one in hand. Are you serious? Wow. This guy came prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Get in there. Just keep the pressure on. We're gonna go wide if we can't go tall. Right? Let's get him. No field wipe here available, which is nice. We're gonna be okay. Giant killer, sure. Take your draw. You already played the land. Lovestruck Beast, good blocker. And they've got 4 defenders, which is a good amount. Oh my gosh, they go ultra wide. They're matching our wideness. We have 5 mana. And we kick this for a total of 5. So we are a bunch of counters on something. We're gaining a bunch of life. And we have a nice fight. Where do we want this fight to go? On the giant killer? Counters on creatures. Should go on vigilance. Target player gains a bunch of life. And then target creature we control fights target creature we don't control. But we need those to be ordered in a specific way. Let's actually just kill the giant killer because we don't know the ordering. Yeah. But it all happened at once, I think, actually. Okay, that's good to know for science. I mean, are they going to double block with the Lovestruck Beast? Maybe. Yes. Is it Shepherd or Shepherd and Lovestruck Beast? That's a 2-for-1, and we get a 2/2 out of it. They just lose the Shepherd. I think that's maybe better, is just to lose only the Shepherd. I don't know. Or they just take it down to 1. YOLO. Okay, we get a draw engine. I do not mind that. Right, we get a 2/2. We're ultra wide. We're ready to pump up the oozes. Like, they've got some cards in the grave now. Right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be good there. We only have the 4 mana. Giant Killer as the creature for the draw. The token deck is really good right now because we've seen, with all the new cards, a decline in people running 4 copies of Extinction Event, which is neat, right? Good game. 75% win rate. Hitting it out of the park with Mythic ranked games here for you guys today. I hope you've been enjoying so far. Make sure to like the video to help show your support. Alright, you guys, it's a boss fight. We're fighting Ugin the Spirit Dragon. We unlocked a secret mode. We can't keep this hand, though. We have to toss it. This looks infinitely better. Let's toss Emeria's Call. Shambler in play. Mentor in play. All of the Imposters in play. Unos, dos, tres. Step 4 is win. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out for us. Go, Swarm Shambler! Alright, we're getting stomped. Mentor gets stomped, of course. They always have... Oh, Frostbite. Original. Not quite stomp. Still upsetting to me, though. Ouch. Frostbite's such a good card. Let's pass our turn. I'm not about to tap and have them destroy us. We could do it now, though. Right, because they're tapped. They get the attack through, but we're not blocking the flying anyways. Maybe they play Snowland, activate Haven, but I doubt it, seeing as they've got a pathway in play. So we're safe to do it. Of course, they have to exile the shark here, so they may as well have attacked. I don't think they thought of that. Let's take a hit. Okay, another shark. I'm actually going to put the token on the Shambler to push it to 5 in case there is a Storm's Wrath. Or a... Yeah, Storm's Wrath. But they could bounce it. You know, there's lots of other things they could do, which is unfortunate for us, but... The dragon. Okay, it's annoying, and I hate it. They have 2 mana. What are they going to do with that 2 mana? Oh, Frostbite. Okay, so it's a good thing we didn't put that token there. I guess we would have got the insect. That would be good. Are we racing? While they're tapped, let's stock up our ooze. Not only is the life gain good, but the increased attack power is nice as well if we're gonna race. Or, yeah, not only is the life good, but also, I don't know if I said that correct or not. We may as well play this because we need 3 planes in play to get it out, so, you know, we're not doing that with 1. Oh, that's our whole hand, though. We have basically folded this match. We have to get very lucky to win. Was that an All-Run's Epiphany? Don't you dare do that to us, Ugin. I told you guys this was a boss fight. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They have 4 available mana. Luminarch in play. Saw it coming. They're tapped. We got 1 creature there. That's it, sees. But we hit for 10. Alright, that's a little bit of damage, at least. Did they need any of these cards from their grave? I guess we could do it in response to anything, right? So we'll just chill out a bit. Behold the multiverse! Looking for those draws. Looking for those bounce spells. Brazen Borrower. What's that new one called? It's got Foretell. Oh, I forget. It costs 2 mana. Foretell for 1, which is like real good. Did I mention how cold it is in Canada? Goodness gracious. I am freezing. Alright, they've got some shenanigans in store for us here. I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it. Because they're attacking still, which is, like, frightening. It's frightening, you guys. They have 8 available mana. They could double Storm's Wrath us, I guess? I don't know. No creatures. No creatures. Our turn. That's the favorite card of mine. Let's take that hit. Haven in play. Maybe the bounce spells. I don't know. I don't know, man. They obviously have an answer. This wouldn't be a boss fight without an answer. There's that petty theft. Yeah, okay. It's annoying and I hate it. It's too bad it doesn't go to the grave for you to, like, get rid of. It really should. They really lose their Haven, hey? Huh. They have 2 mana here. Shambler back in play. They must have a burn spell for the Ooze? Yeah. Is that land count as a creature? No. I wish. Okay. So that's not ideal. Let's pass our turn. We get hit for 4. They still have 4 cards in hand. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a hard match to win. That Goldspan Dragon is just so good. The Borrower can only block flyers, so they definitely have got some jazz. Right, they're going to play us a little tune here, I feel like. 8 available mana. A secondary Goldspan Dragon in the his house. For the block. We're so close. I wish we could activate this ability during the attack phase. You know what I mean? Because we're only going to get 1 damage in, and then what? So we have to wait. But then if we wait, they're... Oh my god. It's not good. It is not good. It hurts. Oh, and that's game. I didn't yeah. Good game. Yeah. Ugh. So close. Down to 2 life, you guys. That was very, very close. Oof skis. So the deck works. I'm wondering how we can make it better, right? Do we need more removal? Do we need more evasion, right? I feel like the meat of the deck is okay. There is some removal and there is some evasion, but do we have the right balance of the two? You know, between the trample and the removal, is it enough? Is going wide enough? Do we need 4 copies of Basri's Lieutenant? It seemed to do a lot of work. Swarm Shambler, Basri's Lieutenant, Conclave Mentor, Fall of the Imposters, Luminarch Aspirant, the Ooze, all seem very good, but how can we, you know, justify trimming the Scavenging Ooze? How can we justify trimming the Gemrazer? You know, even the Inscription of Abundance or the Snakeskin Veil. How can we justify trimming any of those cards to fit more Basris in? That's why I always trim lands. We do have 22 lands in deck plus the 4, so 26. But, you know, I mean, it's really awkward. I can't justify dropping anything. If anything, we could go 3 Ooze, 3 Impostor, 4 Basri. Maybe. I don't know. How would you guys balance this deck? Do I have it dialed in and I'm just being greedy with wanting more Basris? Or, you know, is there a little bit of a problem here that we could correct? Am I just missing any cards that belong in the build? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video to the end. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Support the channel financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and our Amazon link as well. Supporters gain access to VIP chats and exclusive content on YouTube, which is pretty cool. So thank you all, and we'll see you in just a few minutes within the next video.